Well, what's incredible about photography is that, yeah, it's what photographs suggest, right? They don't really say anything. A photograph doesn't say this. It suggests a thing. It builds a world, right? And all those little elements within there can contribute. And it can be the smallest thing, you know, a hand up, uh, a slightly askew angle on the way a vehicle is parked, or the way a tree is leaning, but it's all of those things, and they can be so small, but can carry an entire picture. You know, it can be the smallest little gesture that can make that thing, that makes it work. See, photography is not writing. Photography is not filmmaking. Photography is photography. It's something instantaneous. It's intuitive. It's all those things. That's what makes it fascinating. That's what makes it a universal medium that you can communicate without a common language. You can communicate without a common culture, necessarily. That's what makes it worth doing. Today we're in the Central Valley of California, which is the big, kind of vast agricultural heartland of the state. It's huge. In terms of land area, it's about the size of Great Britain. It's enormous, and it generates about 40 billion with a B, dollars worth of food each year. We are in the third year of a really major drought in California. Last year was the driest year in recorded history in the state. They've never seen a year with less rainfall. The farming is just hanging on just by its fingertips. I mean, it's disconnected from the rest of the state of California. It's disconnected from the United States. I mean, that's essentially the role of this work, is to just, you know, make those connections and establish things. So it just seemed like a natural thing for me to do. It's just to do this work here. And it's where I grew up, it's where I live, and this is what I photograph. Is life, you know, out here in the fields, what's going on. I have a long-term commitment to doing this work here. I mean, this is my place. I'll be photographing this place until I die, probably. And that's, you know, that's what I report. It's not just about the photography or my vision as a photographer, although that's a big part of it. But it's about, you know, being a reporter and telling what's going on. I mean, through my work as a photographer, I'm able to a certain extent, you know, focus attention on things that, you know, I can find out, I can learn about something, I can learn about a situation that a town or a community is facing. I photograph it, and I bring attention to those places. So by being able to do that work here in a focused location, in a focused place, a place that I know well, I mean, I'm actually doing some good, you know. And frankly, you know, doing this work it's hard. It's a lot of work, and it's a lot of hours, and I don't think without that connection, or without this personal connection to the subject and everything else, if it would really be worth it, you know, for me to do this, frankly, because the sacrifices are pretty steep. But because, you know, I feel like I'm doing something that's not just about me, it's not just about, you know, being an artist, it's about responding to these communities, then it makes it a complete thing. It makes it worth doing. I think ultimately your photography reflects, you know, one thing essentially, which is your degree of connection to what you're photographing, right? And I mean, in some cases you have to work on that, right? You have to work to understand something. Other cases, it's just part of you, and you have this connection already. I would say, you know, you don't necessarily have to, you know, photograph what you know. You can go photograph something you don't know. But it's that feeling, it's that connection. It's another layer of understanding, right? I mean, I can still, as a photographer, I can connect with things, places, people that are completely different than me, right? It's another level. So you cannot do this work, particularly this kind of documentary work, without being a great reporter. And that's something that, you know, it actually came pretty natural to me, but I don't think it comes natural to everyone automatically, you know, like that. It's just, you know, having basic reporting skills of, you know, knowing who to talk to and to ask the right questions and to, you know, follow threads, the ability and make connections, you know, between this issue and that thing and this thing and this little glimmer of something you saw on the way there. You know, those are your photographs. They don't put out the welcome mat for you. You know, you have to find them. And that's the job, you know. The actual taking of the photo is not difficult. And it's a pleasure, you know. That's the one little, you know, purely kind of creative or enjoyable aspect of this work, but it's, you know, it's 5% of the work. 95% of it is knowing where to go, knowing who to talk to, and having it all make sense and having it be solid. That's the job, really. You build all of this kind of stuff around your photographs, but it all has to be in the photos, or else what's the point, you know? And it's all about some little visual element, or, you know, symbols, or the light, or the this and that, the way photographs actually function. It's a mystery, right? But that's what all of this is about. You can have the most complicated idea, you can have the most wonderful idea, you can have the best research, your reporting skills can be perfect, but if you can't make it all happen in the photograph, it doesn't work. It's not working. It's a deeper level of communication. And that's what makes it inherently more, to my opinion, more truthful. You know, because you're not advancing an argument, or you're not advancing an agenda per se. You're just observing. It's an observation. And it's separate from the, you know, the world of politics or the world of, you know, any of these things, these kind of temporary kind of human things, you know. Great photographs are forever.